second blessing that comes from having God as your Father is not only an assurance, but there is an adoption. Adoption. Take a look again at verse 15. The rest of it says this: instead, you received God's Spirit when he adopted you as his own children, and now we call him Abba, Father. Some of you thought Abba was just a Swedish group of 4 singers that sang Dancing Queen, and I gotta tell you, it's not, and now that song is stuck in your. I'm so sorry. Abba is actually a term of affection. It'd be like calling him Daddy, if you will. It's a name that is reserved just for God, from us. My son, his nickname for, I'm sure he has a lot of nicknames for me, it depends on the day. Loser is one of them, terrible golfer. But he'll say, Pops, and I know right away that he's talking to me. And I'll say, tax deduction, how you doing? No, I'll say, dead weight, how are you? But there's this connection. There's this connection that develops between us and God. See, I've got good news for you. You're adopted. You're adopted. Every single one of us, by God, you're adopted. Now, some of you may not know this, but we adopted our son 24, 25 years ago. That's usually when you're supposed to yell, what? We do this joke all the time. Okay. We freaked out some people one time when I said that in public, and he yells, what? And I just revealed it to him. But there's something in the Bible about adoption. And I think that's why Paul identifies us as, you're actually not slaves, but you've been adopted. Because if a person in Old Testament law especially, Jewish law especially, if somebody adopted a child, under no circumstances whatsoever could that relationship end. No matter what the child did, no matter, even if they rebelled, there was no provision in the law where that relationship could ever end. You have been adopted by God. And as far as God is concerned, he wants you to know that he is committed entirely to you. You belong to God, and he has a purpose for you. You belong to God, and there's nothing you can do for him to take his hand off of you. He loves you. Aren't you thankful for that today? Ephesians chapter 1 verse 5 says this: God decided in advance to adopt us into his own family by bringing us to himself through Jesus Christ. And this is what he wanted to do, and it gave him great pleasure. When Jonathan was growing up, we had a little catchphrase that Annette and I would do with him. And we did this when he was a toddler. We would say, the greatest day in Mommy and Daddy's life was the day that we adopted you. As he got older, he would finish it before we would. And he'd go, the greatest day in Mommy's Daddy's life was when I adopted you. I thought, how cool is this? He's recognizing that we chose him, but he chooses us as well. God chose you, and you chose God. And that is a beautiful thing on this Father's Day for you to know, that he loves you with a love. Jeremiah says it's a love that is everlasting. It'll never end.